is the teammate to race leader Ryan Newman. Qualified 8th, started there, has slipped back to 10th. Remember, they had that oil scare before the race began. Rusty said that's okay. His car is just very, very tight on the racetrack. Matt?
And Elliott Sadler in the 21 car. His biggest concern is not about his race car, which he really has said not too much about. He's fairly happy moving up through the field, but the biggest concern is his health. He's been battling the flu all weekend. Last night, his brother Hermie told me he spent the whole night hydrating himself with water, hoping that today would not be as hot as it is, but it's the hottest day we've had all weekend. Bill?
Running in the 11th spot is Todd Bodine, who also raced here yesterday. Now, the big news for this team, Todd has slipped to 12th. Let's update his running position. Todd is currently 12th. The big news for this team, not only good on the track, but good off. They have signed Discover Card as a race sponsor for the rest of this season. Today, Todd would like to charge into victory lane. We'll see what happens. Marty?
And Bobby Labonte is the man who passed Todd Bodine on the racetrack, Bill. He is up to 11th. He started 12th. His car started very, very tight. In fact, they debated on a pit stop. Then when they decided not to come in, he radioed after the first couple of green flag laps on this run. That was a good decision because now the car started coming to him. Since his win at Martinsville, he has had no top 10 finishes. Jeff Gordon behind him on the racetrack, currently running in the 12th position. He is very happy. He says the car is getting better. Gordon started 15th. He's made up 3 spots. He has gone 25 races without a win. Much talked about, but he went 41 races without a win to start his career. Matt Yoakum.
Robbie Gordon felt like the biggest hindrance today would be his track position at the drop of the green. He started 21st. He has methodically moved his way to the front. He says the car is tight up off the corner, shoving the nose. This is the same race car that he won his first career win in the season finale last season. Dave?
Starting 16th, Matt Kenseth knew that he would be battling traffic all day, so yesterday in the happy hour, they never ran out front in clean air. They only tried to work on running with cars and passing them. Unfortunately, the 43 car of John Andretti, who just got by him, has been battling him all day. Andretti worked on his passing too. Andretti's running just a little bit hot, and he's a little bit tight up off the corner. They'll try to make an air pressure adjustment, according to crew chief Brandon Thomas, on the next stop. Marty?
And Kurt Busch had the big task of trying to work his way up through the field. Remember, he lost 2 engines in happy hour, or 1 in the morning practice, 1 in the afternoon practice. We talked about him starting at the back of the field. Terrific progress all the way up into the 17th position now as Kurt Busch. The car is very good, and now he just took another spot. He's up in 16th. Ricky Craven also having a nice run out on the racetrack. He's a little bit tight in the center of the corner is Ricky. Big week next week for Ricky Craven. He wants to go to his home track in New Hampshire, a winner. Today, Burns.
Jimmy Johnson had to start in the back of the field after wrecking his backup car in the first lap of practice. But this car is good. They worked on it in final practice as well. Right now, though, he has a little bit of a problem with overheating. The crew asked him to cut off the fan to the motors to see if that would help at all and give him more power. It does not. He is still underpowered. Bill?
Brett Bodine is currently running in the 20th spot. 1 week ago, Saturday night, involved in that fiery crash in the Pepsi 400 at Daytona. Yesterday morning, he got out of bed in the wrong fashion and twisted his back. He had to have it work done in the health trailer in the garage yesterday and again today. He's most comfortable in the race car because it's nice and warm. He's nice and snug. Brett Bodine looking for a nice mid-season miracle. As for Kevin Harvick, a winner here 1 year ago. We all know the story about how RCR has struggled this season. Kevin Harvick looking to get back to victory lane here in Chicago. With the crew chief swap a few weeks ago and the fact that they have moved into their new shops in Welcome, North Carolina, Harvick said he would not be surprised if his team went to victory lane today. Matt?
Bill, Jeremy Mayfield entered the season with renewed enthusiasm with a new team, being a member of the Dodge camp. Currently, though, the 19 car is tight. They also had a little bit of reshuffling this past week. Dave Skog is the team manager. Mike Kelly has been promoted to chief mechanic, just trying to find something to turn around this 19 team, looking for some momentum, Dave.
Just checked in with the crew of Ricky Rudd. Fatback McSwain waved me off and said, we're fine. Things are looking good right now, trying to come up through the field and improve on the starting position that he had from 38th. As for Dave Blaney, he's a little... That means he gets into the corner well, but when he gets back on the throttle, the car wants to push toward the wall. They will try to correct that as well on the next stop. Matt?
Steve Parks, last top 5 finish with a 2nd place at the spring race in Dover in 2001. He too looking to turn around his season back in the 1 car, currently running in the 25th position. He says the car is tight in the center of the corner, up off the corner. They're talking about adjustments on their stop. Bill?
Mark Martin all the way back in 26th. Remember, he's one of the cars that pitted under an early caution. He just took fuel and they cleaned the grill, but his car has not been handling the way he was hoping. Another thing here, when you get back in traffic, it makes it very hard to advance your position. Dave?
Bill, Mike Skinner came in during that last round of pit stops and took on 2 left side tires because he was loose. Now, because he was tight. Normally that would tighten up the car, but they use lower air pressures to tighten up the car, or to loosen up the car, excuse me. So the problem right now for Skinner, a bit tight. Last year here, his car ended up in the wall, which was a hard wreck for him, and he ended up missing 4 races as a result of it. He's back in style now, trying to keep this thing on track for the entire show. As for Kyle Petty, he did not stop the last time. He is running fine right now. Petty making his way in the Sprint Dodge, trying to impress his sponsors for next year, as Sprint will be leaving this car at the end of the season. As for Jeff Green at this point in the America Online Chevrolet, as we have a change for the lead. Alan?
Well, we don't have a change yet, but Bill Elliott in that 9 car, Dave, is getting closer and closer. They're going by Casey Atwood, the 7, to put him a lap down. But Elliott, the last few laps, has been faster than the pole sitter, Ryan Newman.
Couple of phrases that our guys talked about referring to different cars, tight and yaw.
Yeah, well, one thing is when the car's tight or pushing, it's real simple. These guys go down the corner. The rears are sticking better than the fronts. So when you drive the car down in there, you get back on the gas, it wants to shove the nose up the racetrack. And the only way you can make it stop doing that is you have to roll out of the throttle. On the yaw deal, to me, BP, I think when they're talking about yaw, it's when the car actually turns down into the corner. When the car is twisted, it's almost like it's sideways getting into the corner. And that's what Ryan Newman was referring to.
He was talking about the car being a little bit loose. Normally those guys said, well, it's too loose. Being an engineer, he said their car goes in yaw.
Too much yaw.
Too much yaw.
Bill Elliott caught Ryan Newman in traffic, but now that they got by the Casey Atwood car, the lead is stabilized. So we'll take a break. Newman continues to lead the Tropicana 400. The Chicagoland Speedway, just outside the Windy City, home of today's Tropicana 400 for the NASCAR Winston Cup Series. And we look down on this 930-acre complex from the U.S. Army Skycam, courtesy of the United States Army and Army of One.
Okay, all you Earnhardt fans, set up, pay attention. Junior has moved into the 2nd spot and is closing in on the leader, Ryan Newman.
And beginning to see some green flag pit stops among the front runners. Jeremy Mayfield was just in, and Tony Stewart is now on pit road. Stewart giving up 5th place to commit for his stop.
And Ryan Newman has been very, oh, here we go, battle for the lead. 3, 4 wide off 2.
Ran up on Jeremy Mayfield coming off the pit lane. And that's Jerry Nadeau in the 00.
Oh, look out, Junior. Got in that corner, didn't have the angle just right getting in the corner. When he got in, he had nowhere to go except up the hill. And luckily, Ryan Newman gave him some room.
Bill Elliott is on the pit road. Just lost 2nd place to Earnhardt Jr. a couple laps ago. He's now in. There's Elliott's Dodge. Matt?
Bill Elliott comes to a stop. His car was extremely good on entry, but it was tight up off the corner. They're going to make an air pressure adjustment, down a half a pound on all 3 corners except the right rear. Jim Pullman, who indexes the rear tire, is from Oak Lawn, the south side of Chicago. He's captain of his football team. 15 family members are here to see that good stop.
Money's safe for now.
Money's safe, oh yeah.
Joe Nemechek is in for his pit stop as Earnhardt Jr. continues trying to put Jerry Nadeau a lap down. Ken Schrader, Kenny Wallace, Casey Atwood, Steve Grissom, and Stuart Kirby have all gone laps down already. Marty?
And Joe Nemechek is in, having a terrific run. This is the first car Brian Patty can truly call his own as crew chief. They cut up the body, they took it to the wind tunnel, they tested with it at Kentucky, and so far it is very good. No changes for Joe Nemechek and 4 tires. Bill Weber.
Brett Bodine is on pit road just a few laps ago. He told his crew he's losing power in the race car. they make a chassis adjustment and a 4-tire stop. Some of these teams are going to want 2, but most will take 4 because they need the full load of fuel. We'll see what happens. Brett's still getting service, waiting for that fuel. He's on his way. We go to Burns.
And John Andretti comes in. He gives up his spot on the track now. They are going to take on 4 tires. Remember, John was running hot. They're probably going to take a little tape off the front. Looks like they go by that move. It must be improving as far as the heat goes. They will change the left side now. Air pressure adjustments only for Andretti. Remember, he was also a little bit tied up off the corner, and now he is off pit lane.
Rusty Wallace will be the next of the leaders to come onto pit road. He will be followed in by Todd Bodine. Bill?
Rusty on pit road, and as you mentioned, Todd Bodine in the 26 right behind him. Rusty and his guys talked about 2 right side tires and adding a spring rubber. But because the car is so bad tight and because they need full load of fuel, it's going to be 4 tires and up on the track bar. So Rusty Wallace looking for his first win of the season, got his first top 5 of the year last week in the Pepsi 400. Long time on the left rear. Rusty's on his way. Marty.
Everybody talking about when's Jeff Gordon going to win, Bill? Well, this is the car he last won in at Kansas. It is the same combination, and they're very happy with it right now. Tight all the way through the corner, did Jeff say. They are going to make a chassis adjustment, and it'll be 4 tires for the 3-time Winston Cup champion, Jeff Gordon.
Robbie Gordon is in. Sterling Marlin is in. Bobby Labonte's ducked down off the racetrack, and he's on the pit lane. There's your championship leader, Marlin. And we go back to Marty.
And Sterling Marlin had all the problems, Alan, early on the racetrack. He was very, very tight and no grip, he said. So they're going to go down 1 pound on all the tires. They will also make a chassis adjustment. Right in front of him pitting will be Bobby Labonte. The car is very tight. They're going to take a pound out of the right front tire. That should loosen it up just a little bit. But Bobby's still fairly happy with the race car. Ricky Craven also running in the top 15. He too is tight, slides to a stop in his pit stall. They too will make a chassis adjustment, trying to loosen him up. To Matt Yoakum.
A major wedge adjustment on the 1 car of Steve Park as the guys are already around to the left side. He said one hindrance he had today, he felt like he didn't have enough power down the straight. As Park stalls it. Park stalls the car. The crew guys are pushing him. He's finally moving down pit road.
Dale Jarrett is in. Was up to 3rd place before peeling off for his stop. Still no move to pit road from either of the first 2, Earnhardt Jr. or Ryan Newman. Dave Burns. Check that, Marty Snyder.
And Dale Jarrett was very happy with the car. Just a little bit tight. They will make an adjustment of air pressure to try and fix that. They were very good yesterday morning, and that's the setup they have under the car right now, even though it is a lot hotter. Very quick stop going, especially on the front for Dale Jarrett. It will be a 4-tire change and that slight air pressure adjustment for the Winston Cup champion. Alan?
Front 2 are in. Dale Earnhardt Jr. being followed down the pit lane by Ryan Newman. 55 miles an hour is the speed limit today on pit road. And the lead is taken over by Michael Waltrip as these 2 come in. Back to Marty.
And this will be an interesting race. These guys 1-2 on the racetrack. They pit also right beside each other on pit road, or 1 pit stall separates the 2. Ryan Newman just a little bit tight, and they got tighter the longer he ran. They make a track bar adjustment and a wedge adjustment to overcompensate for that track bar adjustment they made. Dale Earnhardt Jr. will go with air pressure just a little bit tight. He said the track is slick, and they will win the race off pit road with Ryan Newman by a bunch.
The jack fell on the 12 car. Something happened, and the jack fell. Michael Waltrip is coming down pit road, the Napa car, to make his pit stop.
Announcement made this morning, as we talked about in Discover Card Countdown to Green, that Napa has signed on with Michael and the DEI team for another couple of years, Matt.
And Michael Waltrip also took the grass route on his entrance to pit road. His car was a little bit loose, so they're going to make a wedge adjustment as they come around to the left side.